Hey everybody, it's Kevin Strange back at you for another morning video stream. We're doing something a little different today. It might not look any different to you, but I'm going directly through the Facebook live video interface, and I don't know if that's going to make any difference. And we're doing it this way because I'm about to run out of hours on the StreamYard. I'm not going to have any hours to stream during the month of September when we launched the Strangeville Smoke Weed card game, which is bad news. Bad news. I blew all my. You only get 20 hours to stream each month through the free StreamYard app, and I blew through the entire month on the front end. So I got a notification that I'm almost out of hours, and I won't have access to StreamYard until the 17th of September. And I don't know if why does it keep doing that? I don't know if we're going to be able to go live. I should do all this on its own later, but it's a little late for that now. I won't have access to StreamYard to go live for most of the month. So we are experimenting with the direct Facebook app. So hit like on this video, jump in to the comments, say what's up. I don't think it's showing me the number of people watching. Canales. Is that how you pronounce your name? Canales. Illustrator extraordinaire says, I need to get me one of those. Get you one of what? Get you one of these sweet hookers? Or one of these iPad Pros that I'm working on. You trying to get this technology? I'll tell you right now, it's going to run you about $1,200 to get the newest Apple Pencil and to get the newest iPad Pro setup, which I recommend. I mean, if you're gonna do your yep, that's it. Nice pronunciation, Canales. I don't know, man. I'm just a fucking kid from the Midwest. I pronounce shit how I pronounce it. I do my best, but at the end of the day, I'm going to talk like I talk. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna go this route and jump into the hookers are cool, he says, but I'm more into iPads. There's this something here called pin. I don't know what that means. It's not gonna put the comments up on the screen like StreamYard does, but that's okay because we can still work and do all our promotion for the card game and everything right here through Facebook Live, it looks like. So we'll be able to, until we get our StreamYard hours back near the end of September, we'll be able to do it like this. So that's fine. I think we'll be okay there. So having a pretty good day today already. Pretty productive day. If you if you follow along with the adventures in Strangeville here, you'll know that I like to do walks around the pond in the mornings before I jump on the live stream, get the blood flowing, get everything moving in a good direction. And I was able to go do. I was injured most of the week last week. My foot was all fucked up again. I had just injured it and went back too hard, and I blew it out again. But it seems to have taken less time to heal, and so the last few days I've been able to get back at it and hit it real hard this morning. Two real grueling miles out there on the pond, and that was nice. I've got a salad and a chicken wrap in me already today. Cal says a morning constitutional, as the Brits used to say. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Putting the finishing touches on this page. Here. And I labeled this video this morning to all the fans that I've lost along the way, because I feel like if I look at my my career over the last 5 years, there's been a shift, a hard shift to the right, as they say, politically for me, publicly. And I used to never talk about politics at all, ever. And politics had no place in Strangeville. Divisive social arguments were figure out what I want this word to say. That looks cool. Plopow. It's the sound effect that her stomach exploding is going to make. I used to never talk about politics, and I left all the divisive social hot button topics. I would either use satire in the art to express my opinions, or even use the satire in the art to express how futile it is to even have opinions on those topics. And then things started to change about 5 years ago, and there was this real push towards social censorship. And there was a group of you know, I got involved with a fiction scene of a lot of real hard left political socialists, and they took not only did they take pride, they gleefully celebrated the censorship and the deplatforming of any political or social ideologies that they disagreed with, and it really radicalized me, and it really pushed me hard to the right in some ways. And when I say to the right, I mean social liberty, freedom of expression, things that were considered very liberal just a couple of decades ago. Suddenly I was being called a like some kind of a neo-Nazi or alt-righter for believing that as artists we should enjoy individual liberty and the freedom of expression, and especially the freedom of artistic expression. And then these right-wing grifters really started to pick up on the discontent that a lot of us were feeling in the social and political arenas, and these right-wing grifters, they started to really capitalize on that frustration, and they started to really stoke those flames and fires, and really started to push us and radicalize us even further, and make us more and more angry and frustrated, and push us apart. And at the same time, there's a group of grifters on the left, mostly the mainstream media and academic teachers, socialists and communists in academia, celebrities. We're all pulling everyone else the other direction and grifting on them and radicalizing them. And suddenly we find ourselves, Canales says, I don't think I went right. The left used to I used to hang out with went insane, and I just refused to follow. Yeah, I agree with that. He says it was actually the feminist onslaught against comics that red pilled me. Yeah. It was this idea that comic books, there was no place in comic books, in pop culture, in music, that suddenly there was no place for this attitude of live and let live, and everybody just hang out and be cool and be open-minded to different cultures and different things, but to, generally love each other, treat each other well, and everything would be all right. There was this moment in time where we sort of decided that no, it was no longer going to be all right, and we could no longer have this attitude. If we had the attitude of live and let live, we were somehow alt-right Nazis, and that we just simply weren't. Man, didn't take. So what did I merge selected layers? There we go. And we've been more and more radicalized on both sides ever since. And I've had this frustration for the longest time that the art that I do. I mean, look at this ridiculous stuff that I do. This is not right-wing art. This is not stuffy conservative Christian art. This stuff is no different than it always has been. I'm telling the same stories in the same way that I have been for almost 20 years. And I feel like I've been hoodwinked almost. I feel like I've been manipulated. I feel like I've been taken advantage of by these right-wing grifters they've taken advantage of my frustrations. And I think that the left has taken advantage of my more liberal friends and fans' frustrations, and they've driven us further and further apart as time has gone on, and as they force us into this culture war, where on social media we're at each other's throats endlessly and tirelessly, day and night, using example after example of why the right are Nazis or why the left are communists, and we hate each other in our own families. We disassociate with our own family members, friends people we've been friends with for decades. Suddenly, we no longer speak to. We're no longer on speaking terms with, and I feel like it's and what does it accomplish? What have we accomplished? What have we really won by not associating with those family members or those friends we've had for decades? What have we won? What culture war victory have we really achieved by disconnecting and disassociating ourselves with each other. And in my case, it's a lot of my fans. A lot of my fans, as they saw me rage and become radicalized and just talk about politics 24/7 on social media, because I felt like I had to fight this culture war. I felt like the feminists and the SJWs and the communists and the socialists, they were coming for everybody. They were coming for my art. They were coming for my TV shows. They were coming for my comic books. They're coming for my movies. They were in my schools. They're in my on my TV. You know, on my in my social media. My friends are reposting all of these ridiculous anti-free speech and anti-free thought and pro-cancel culture and pro-censorship posts and memes and all this anti, you know, cyber Nazi propaganda. And at the end of the day, 5 years down the road, with all this fighting that I've done, I've lost a huge group of my loyal fans that have been with me for more than a decade, enjoying the stories of Strangeville through the films and then through the novels and now into the comic books. I lost so many of them along the way because I became this radicalized right-winger that was just constantly trying to own the SJWs and own the Nazis and or own the feminists and own the SJWs and own the communists. And at the end of the day, where are we at? Culturally, we are in a bigger dumpster fire cultural civil war than ever. We're now shooting each other dead in the streets. And nothing has been gained. Nothing has been gained. And the ringleaders and the orchestrators of these grifts on the right and on the left have sat in their ivory towers and gotten richer and richer and richer. Ben Shapiro is richer now than ever. Steven Crowder is richer now than ever. Alex Jones is richer now than ever. They've sat and they've sold their supplements and they've sold their advertising and they've sold their they've gotten their clicks, their advertising revenue, and they've built their fan bases bigger and bigger and bigger because we become more and more frustrated and we think they're out there fighting the culture war for us and we're going to win this time. We're going to get Donald Trump reelected. And at the end of the day, all of my right-leaning friends, myself included, that all know we're going to vote for Donald Trump in November. Do you know what we actually think about that? You know what we actually believe is going to happen when Donald Trump gets reelected? Things are only going to get worse. We believe that the culture war is only going to rage stronger and that the left is only going to push harder and that things are only going to get crazier. So what difference does any of it make? What difference does any of this make other than brothers in the street shooting each other dead over differences that have been manufactured by men that are getting richer and richer by the day by making us angrier and angrier at each other? When the reality is those brothers in the streets that are shooting each other and attacking each other and pepper spraying each other in the face, and one of them wears Antifa masks and the other one wears Patriot Prayer masks. What differences do those two individuals really have? The things they have in common, the human connection that they have is so much stronger. There's so many more things they have in common than the things that the grifters have used to push us apart and have us violently attacking each other in the streets. I'm talking about middle class to poor Americans are fighting each other in the streets, hand-to-hand combat, attacking each other with weapons, now shooting each other dead with guns, while the grifters just sit safe behind their video cameras, stoking these flames and making us fight each other more and more and more. And they do, this stuff makes me mad. They know what to say. They know the type of content to share to me that makes my blood boil, that makes me hate Antifa, that makes me hate SJWs, that makes me hate feminists. It makes me physically hate them. It makes me want to hurt them and silence them. And that's not how I should feel. Because at the end of the day, I have more in common with that supposed SJW or supposed feminist, and they have more in common with me than either of us have with the ideologues that are pushing these ideas into our heads that are making us want to kill each other. And they're not putting themselves at any fucking risk at all. They just keep collecting more and more money. more and more advertising revenue, more and more. They sell more and more supplements. They sell more and more. When you watch a Steven Crowder episode, he's got a fucking gun sitting on his desk that he collects ad revenue, product placement, revenue from every single time he does a show, and does a change my mind, and gets me all crazy pissed off because the people that sit down to talk to him are insane. But it's because their version of Steven Crowder has made them insane. And Steven Crowder is making me insane by selectively showing me the things that he knows will piss me off, that he knows will drive me crazy. Canales says, I used to be really active in a leftist party here in Spain, but I always disliked feminists. When they attacked comic books out of the blue, that was it for me. And it was for me as well, dude. When they started turning these comic book characters into left-wing activists, it drove me insane. Especially the comic book, if they were making their own feminist comics, nobody would have cared. It was coming after the big iconic characters in Marvel and DC and turning them into these SJW and feminist mouthpieces, and hiring these SJWs and feminists, these blue-haired weirdo commies to tell stories through the mouth of Captain America, and through the mouth of the Hulk, and through the mouth of Iron Man and stuff like that, Batman and Superman. It drove me crazy. Canal says, you were saying that we were refusing to believe that comics were excluding women and people of other races makes us all Nazis. Yeah, he says, yeah, I've lost friends that I thought were real, but they only liked me if I parroted the same politics as them. Us working and hanging out together for years didn't mean anything. And that's what was radicalizing me so much, dude, was like, I didn't care. You can be a gay leftist. I used to manage a video store, and I hired anybody that I thought had merit. And I worked with lefties, I worked with righties, I worked with gay dudes, I worked with straight people. It didn't matter. Like, I never cared about the personal, social politics and beliefs of any of the people around me. I always had the attitude of, you do you and I'll do me, and I don't really give a fuck, because again, we have more in common than we have different. I've always been that open-minded dude that just didn't give a fuck. But my friends my lefty friends, they were being brainwashed to believe that if they have any acquaintances or friends or family members that don't parrot exactly and believe exactly what they believe, that it rubs off on them. If they're friends with a righty, that makes them a righty. That makes them a Nazi by association, and that stuff drives that drove me radically to the right when there was no reason for me to move at all, because I don't care about any of that. I don't give a shit about your political beliefs. I don't give a fuck about who you go vote for in political seasons. I don't give a shit about any of that. I like people because they're cool people, because of the things we have in common, and even when I say the things we have in common, like we can all enjoy the same sport. We don't have to. I have friends that are into MMA. We don't have to like the same fighters. We don't have to believe that. We don't have to predict the outcomes of the fights are going to be exactly the same. We can have a ton of differences, and we can argue and argue and argue. But because we have that one thing in common, that we both like mixed martial arts, that's the thing that keeps us together. And it should be the same. The same thing should hold true for politics. If you're into politics, you should be able to have friends from all of the political spectrum. You shouldn't have to agree. Like, politics is one of those weird things where if you aren't 100% in agreement with me on our politics, then we can't talk about politics, which is ridiculous, because anything else, you can have an interest in the same thing, but have different opinions on it. And when it comes to politics, and now everything has been made political by all these grifters that are all filthy goddamn rich off of their grifts. They've taught us that you can't have friends of different political beliefs, and that you have to be political. I don't want to be political. I don't give a fuck about politics. Old Jeremy Daniels jumps in here, says, that's how Civil War works, Kevin. I don't like it any more than you men do, but that's the way he wants it. Well, he gets it. This this stream, it goes out to those people. If you're curious, if you read the headline of this video and you're curious as to what I was going to have to say, to the fans I've lost along the way, what I have to say to you guys is I'm trying my hardest to escape the grift, to ignore the grifters, to ignore the divisive, crazy cultural civil war that we're in, and make Strangeville a place for everyone. And that's so hard to do. It's so hard to do because, as Canales said earlier, so many people have this attitude of, if you don't parrot and virtue signal exactly what the left tells you to, that you are, for all intents and purposes, a Nazi. And I'm trying so hard. I want to make Strangeville a place for everyone, all political beliefs, all genders, all races, all ideologies. I don't care about those things. Strangeville isn't a political place. Strangeville is a place where we enjoy hooker titties and tentacle monsters. We enjoy weird, crazy, fucked up horror comedy. Strangeville needs to be a place of escape. Strangeville needs to be a place where you can go when you are physically and emotionally exhausted from endlessly being grifted on by both sides. When you need an escape hatch, when you want to blow off steam that isn't political, where you don't have to parrot anyone else's ideology, I want you to be able to come here. I want you to be able to visit Strangeville. And I want all of us citizens of Strangeville to respect each other's differences and not care, not get triggered by and care if a woman wants to say that, females are better than males. I don't care if women think that. Let them think that all they want to. It doesn't bother me in the least. Some chicks are better than some dudes, and some dudes are better than some chicks. And if you want to walk around and live in that worldview that chicks are better than dudes, I don't give a fuck. You're welcome here. You're welcome here. Everybody's welcome here. You want to be a fucking commie scumbag? Come on in. I don't give a fuck. That's opposite of my ideology. But in order for me to practice what I preach, you have to be able to come here and have a place here. I'm not going to let you take it over. I'm not going to let you turn Strangeville into a communist propaganda camp. But you're welcome here. You're welcome to come and eat and drink and enjoy the treasures of Strangeville. Keep your commie shit out of it. And this is so hard to do. This is almost impossible to do in a political and social climate that we live in. But I'm so frustrated at rich grifters having us shooting each other in the fucking streets. Literally killing each other, and each side is heralding the guy that their murderer as the hero, and the other side's victim as the as some evil force. And both sides are doing it. Canales says, I always say that there's tiers to SJWs, the ones at the top who know they're peddling BS and profit from it, and the useful idiots at the bottom who's stupid enough to believe in the BS. And we're all fucking useful idiots, brother. And that's got me so hemmed up right now, is I feel like a useful idiot. I feel like I've done nothing but contribute to the blood in the streets, that my brothers are bleeding, while the politicians and the CEOs and the fucking grifters get richer and richer at our expense. Our lives, our blood is being spilled so that they can get richer. Then I don't have a problem with rich people either. Rich people are just as welcome in Strangeville as anyone else. It's not a, I'm not even trying to create a rich versus poor dichotomy. I'm saying that profiting off of the blood in the streets is immoral. That's fucked up. Profiting off of blood in the streets is fucked up. Creating the, problem reaction solution. You create the division. Then you have us killing each other in the streets, and then you create more restrictions and more laws and more profit for yourselves. It's got me all hemmed up. I'm pissed. I'm fucking pissed. I'm pissed and I'm tired of it. And this goes out to all the fans I've lost along the way. I just want you to know that I'm doing my best, my level best, not to be political and not to be divisive. And I want you to be able to come here and know that you're welcome. All people of all persuasions, especially if you feel like you're a misfit, especially if you feel like you don't belong in either of those political paradigms, especially if you feel like you're exhausted with the social media pageantry, that you're tired of playing a victim online for virtue points, that you want to live a more authentic life. I just want you to know that there's a place in Strangeville for you. Here you don't have to play the victim. Here you don't have to play oppressed. Here you don't have to worry about being shamed as a Nazi for having opinions that differ from the mainstream. There is no mainstream in Strangeville. It's all underground. Jeremy says, not a Guns N' Roses fan, eh? I don't know what that means. Just be you, Kevin. People love you just the way you are. I've seen it before. The cancel culture took over. You are a god amongst men at horror conventions because of who you are. I don't know about that, but I was definitely well liked out there. I don't think I will be. I'm going back out on the con scene, and I think I'm going to be the pariah of the con scene now. But I'm just going to push this message. I'm just going to push this message, and anybody that wants to, totally, reject Strangeville and reject the treasures that Strangeville has to offer, that's fine. I accept that. I'm not begging people back. This isn't some have you noticed I haven't apologized for anything? I'm not apologizing for what's happened. I will never apologize for the way I behave, because I'm behaving this way for a reason. Because what got me so hemmed up and crazy in the first place, that sent me spiraling into this culture war, was people was this culture of leftists trying to police art, trying to tell me what I could and couldn't speak on or create in art. And I will never be made. I will never be brought to heel artistically. You can never bring me to heel artistically. I will never allow that to happen. And if it took me veering off to the right politically for 5 years and losing half my fan base or more, so be it. That's what happened. We're past that now. I see the error of my ways. That doesn't mean I'm apologizing for what I did, because what I did was stand up for artistic expression. We've got Trauma films being the biggest influence on my career artistically, are crying this month because YouTube banned their channel for content, some kind of content violation, and now they're calling YouTube Nazis. Well, there couldn't be a further left company than YouTube. And what it is with all these, Troma's super liberal, super lefty. They flirt with the SJW shit themselves. And but as soon as the censorship comes for them, now there's a problem. Suddenly there's a problem. No, motherfuckers, there's been a problem for half a decade. There's been a problem for half a decade, and I've been a pariah for talking about it out of turn, talking about it when it's not hip or trendy. It's only censorship is only a problem when the Republicans are doing it. Censorship is only a problem when the fucking conservatives or the Christians are doing it, and otherwise it's fucking turn a blind eye towards it until it happens to you, and then suddenly you notice it. Oh my God, the censorship! Can you believe it? Yeah, motherfucker, I can believe it. I can believe the fucking shit out of it. And I have no sympathy. I have no sympathy for Troma for getting banned off of a fucking platform that has pushed nothing but this kind of censorship ideology for years. And no, when you cry crocodile tears because it happened to you, I'm not going to have sympathy for you, because you weren't there supporting me. You weren't there supporting me. As I've been turned into a social pariah, as I've been turned into a fucking cyber Nazi for suggesting that, oh, we leave art alone. We allow artists to create art without restriction. God fucking forbid we do something crazy like that. I'm hemmed up. I'm hemmed up and pissed off, gang. Because nothing's been solved. All this fighting for years, and it only gets worse. Jeremy says, so when is the Smokeweed game coming? So Smokeweed's right here. The game is finished. I've got one more prototype pack of the cards that have all the changes we wanted to make the game as tight as possible. That's on the way. They sent me a notification last night that the pack is in the mail. The cards are in the mail, and we'll be here within the week. And then we're going to launch our campaign, and we're gonna blast Strangeville Smokeweed out to the world. And I hope that some of the fans that have tuned me out because I don't have the right politics will give this game a chance, because this game is pure unadulterated Strangeville, and it's so fun. I just go play it with my friends. Twice this week I've just gone to my friends' houses and played Strangeville Smokeweed, because it's that much fun. I love playing it. I love revisiting those characters, and I'm the fucking creator of the universe and the creator of the fucking game. And that's how much I like it. I just casually play it with my buddies. This isn't something that I'm just trying to sell you. I actually love playing the game, and will play the game forever. I will continue to play this game for the rest of my life, and continue to, as long as you guys like it, as long as enough of you guys are willing to support it through the crowdfunder. To justify it, I'm going to keep making expansions for the game forever, indefinitely. We will have newer and newer versions of and more expansions for Strangeville Smokeweed, the card game, forever. We'll just keep doing it, and the new expansions will they'll follow the canon of the new comic books, like the one of the the game comes with the regular game, the 108 cards that fit here in the box, and then there's 2 expansion packs. That's why there's a rubber band around the game, There's 2 expansion packs that don't fit in the box because they're optional. You don't have to get them. So just you got the main game, but then those 2 expansion packs. The one expansion pack, it's 18 cards. It's the contents of that expansion pack are from Dead Shit, the Talisman of Transmutation, the comic book, and the second one is called Wingate's Warfuck, and it uses characters and situations from the comic I'm working on right now, Cockhammer Lives, the graphic novel. So as we continue to put out new graphic novels, new comic books, and we continue to expand the Strangeville universe in comic book format, we're also going to continue to expand it in the game format, and just continue to do that indefinitely. All right, gang. We're getting close to done here. I just needed to throw sound effects on these 2 pages before I moved on. Some little motion lines here and there. And I wanted to go on that rant about the grifting situation and how frustrated I am with it and how much I want Strangeville to be for absolutely everyone. And so fuck what you heard. If you heard Kevin Strange is a racist, or you heard Kevin Strange is a sexist, or he's a homophobe, I can't be any of those things if I want Strangeville to be for everyone. I literally do not care about your sexual orientation. I don't care about your gender. I don't care about your race. I don't care about your height, your weight, your hair color, your eye color. I don't care about, more importantly than that, I don't care about what you believe. I don't care about your opinions about culture and society and politics. Those things don't matter. What matters is that you think that Demony Wingate getting a hold of the Black Mage Diary is some fucked up shit, and some real crazy shenanigans is going to go on because this motherfucker was able to grab the most wicked book in the land. That's what we care about here in Strangeville. That's all we give a fuck about. We care about this fucking Strangeville Smokeweed card game coming to Indiegogo in the next couple of weeks. We care about getting those Hack movies on DVD over at kevinthestrange.com. You can get all the Hack movies on DVD right now. You don't have to wait for me to come to your town to set up at a convention. You can grab that shits right now. Anyway, we're going to roll up out of here, gang. Thanks for hanging out. Like I said, we did a little experiment here with the going direct to Facebook for the live stream this time. And we got all kinds of shit in here. Use camera, there's all kinds of stuff. I mean, I'm just going through looking at all the different options you get when going through Facebook Live now. It's pretty crazy how the type of options you get. But yeah, we're gonna get out of here, and I appreciate you guys coming in. And again, if you were curious and you jumped on this stream because of the title of it, to the fans I've lost along the way, my social media is not going to be full of politics anymore, divisive politics. My social media is going to focus on telling the stories of Strangeville. And there's so much, 15 fucking years worth, that we can hang out and talk about. That's all that matters to me. Strangeville and you guys having a good time here and being able to unwind and relax and disengage from the horrors of social media pageantry, being fake on social media, pretending to believe things you could care less about, but having to pretend to care about them so that people don't think you're a bad person. We don't care about any of that in Strangeville. You don't have to virtue signal shit in Strangeville. You don't have to pledge your allegiance to shit in Strangeville. You're just welcome here. You're welcome to come here and relax and unwind. Detach from politics. Detach from fighting with your brothers and sisters over shit you don't really care about in the first place. Making other men profit from our rage and our anger and our blood in the streets. Anyway, gang, till next time, stay strange.